I want to welcome everyone and
Yeah,
thank
give
you
me
so
one.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, 1 second. Yeah, one
Okay.
second. Yeah. And now you can record. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Welcome everyone to our Mindfulness at Work, Replacing Busyness with Mindfulness workshop. Our commitment to you is that we will squeeze this into an hour, even though I know that you'll want to spend much more time with Sanjeev. Fortunately, he's provided us with a recording of a previous session he's done for us and a video series, a 5-part video series on mindfulness that I'll put the link to our website and perhaps you'll have other opportunities to learn from Sanjeev. Mindfulness teaches us that we have to slow down and pay attention and watch our thoughts. Living in awareness of the present moment can help us to manage stress and emotions and be more effective at work. And today we're welcoming back our teacher, Sanjeev Kumar, who is a mindfulness teacher and acclaimed author of the book, Practicing the Power of Present Moment. He's also the founder of the Canadian Mindfulness Research Centre, and his goal with his work is to create healthier, happier, and more productive communities. And he helps workshop participants feel inspired, rejuvenated, and recharged. And that seems like a really great way for us to spend our lunch hour today. So thank you so much for joining. And I will turn the time over to Sanjeev. You may want to adjust your view so that he's in speaker view during the teaching, but that's completely up to you. I'm going to turn my camera off and I'll turn the time over to Sanjeev for the teachings. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks, Ronin, for inviting me for my presence in this community to help, to improve the productivity with the help of mindfulness practice. Yeah.
So grateful you're here.
Yeah. So let us, hello.
Yes, we can hear you, Sanjeev.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. Okay. So today we are going to talk about how the mindfulness can improve the productivity at the workplace, and how the busyness of our mind, that create problem at the workplace. So where is the role of mindfulness practice, So let us talk about what is a basic level of mindfulness practice, and then we will come to the point where we are and where we can move forward in activity of daily living or working at the workplace, So the first practice of mindfulness is to pay attention, slow down, and watch out our thought, It is very important. Most of the people are getting reactive, at the workplace, Why? Because they are busy and occupied with so many useless and unwanted thought. Because our lifestyle is very busy, and just for example, if I'm working in the IT sector or any sector, what is happening? I have so much responsibility, accountability at the workplace, So what will I do? I would like to struggle, I would like to, juggle with my work, So where mindfulness practice help them, like how we have to become slow down, pay attention, and watch out our thought. The first way, the breathing meditation technique, which we can do at any place. It doesn't matter whether we are living at the house, working at community halls, or wherever, So the breathing technique is very important, because breath is a life force energy, Breath can help us to live into the present moment awareness, The breath can connect with all kinds of the useless and unwanted thought of the past or the future, And this is the divine moment exists. So just for example, if I'm working at some place, what is happening? My mind is busy and occupied with so many thoughts, So as soon as we bring our awareness to the breath, at the top of the nostril, while breathe out, So what will happen? We are getting disconnected from the thought of stress, from the thought of the anger, from the thought of negative emotion, and we can be focused and aware of the breath, and attention go where energy flow. if we bring our attention and energy to the breath, what will happen? We are getting disconnected from the useless and unwanted thought of the past or the future. We can be totally celebrate this present moment awareness. And not only bringing the awareness of the breath is important. Another practice we can do, like we have to just watch fullness of the breath. As we know that the in breath is, like we go for in breath and out breath. So we have to hold for a few seconds. So when we are working at any place, just hold it for a few seconds. And then you have to bring the awareness of the breath at the top of the nostril while bringing, while breathe out. Because if there is a thought of a stress, if there is a thought of negative emotions which is coming into our life, so it will. Is there any question? Then I can move further. Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
I don't think there's questions. If folks have questions, they can unmute their mics and.
Okay. Then I can move forward, right? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So what we have to do basically, we have to be. Yeah. Somebody is coming. We have to admit it. Yeah. Hello. Yeah. So let us talk about practice a gap or a space between two words, between two thoughts, between two actions, which is very important. Why it is important? As I said, our mind is very busy with all kinds of the thought of the past or the future, or the thought of the anger, thought of stress, thought of negative emotions. So we need to create a space or gap between two words, between two thoughts, between two actions. So when we create a space or gap between two words, between two thoughts, between two action, automatically we are getting slow down, pay attention and watch out our breath, watch out our thought. As I said, breath is a life force energy. The more we are aware of whatsoever work we are doing at workplace, what is happening, we are totally mindful, because we are awareness. Awareness means just become slow down, pay attention and watch out our thought. So the more we are aware, the more we can witness and observe whatsoever thing is going on. If I'm working at any place, and if somebody is trying to create a thought of a stress, thought of anger, thought of negative emotion, sometimes what happens, we work in a group, we work as a team, so it might happen like people are living with different frequency, different energy level, so they might create some tension, they might create some stress, they might create some anger. So what we have to do, first of all, we have to witness it, we have to observe it, without judgment, no labeling at all. So when there is no judgment, when there is no labeling, what will happen? Automatically I would like to live into the present moment awareness, because this is the divine moment exists. So we have to witnessing of the emotion, which is very important. So the more we witnessing of the emotion, what will happen? We are going to get rid of all kinds of the useless and unwanted thought, because we are not reacting with any kind of the thought emotions, whatever is arising, So we have to witness it. As I said in the last session, witnessing means deep observation without labeling, no judgment, So when we witness of it, what will happen? We are becoming non-reactive, and we are not making any decision based on all kinds of the useless and unwanted thought. So another mindfulness practice, when we are busy and occupied with too many thoughts, we have to go for the time management training, time management technique, I can say, in which we need to prioritize, we need to prioritize our work. Just for example, suppose if I go for working at any place, early in the morning, we can go for meditation for a few minutes, Why? When we go for meditation for a few minutes, it will try to settle down our thoughts, It will bring more peace, It will bring more rejuvenation. It will recharge ourselves. It will rejuvenate ourselves, So when we do meditation early in the morning, after that, wherever we are, whatsoever activity we are doing, we can be more happy, we can be more settle down our thought, we can be more mindful. Why? Because we did already meditation early in the morning. Then we can be much more focused of our work. It doesn't matter how much busy of our mind, because our thoughts are getting settling down. So this is very important tools at the workplace. Another techniques, or another process of get rid of the all kinds of the useless thought with the help of mindfulness practice, is to create a positive emotion wellness. Nowadays is very important, very important. Sometimes what happens when we work at team, different people exist at the different level of energy frequency. Somebody some people are not at the same level of the frequency. So what is happening? People are not happy, people are not satisfied, people are not living with the positive emotion. So most of the people are living with negative emotion, like they are having the hate, negativity, jealousy, anger, stress, fear, so many negative kind of emotions they are having. So at that point, what we have to do, we have to create a positive emotion wellness. What does it means? It means that still we have positive emotion, negative emotion, everybody, so we don't have to connect with the negative emotion. However, the negative emotion exists, so we have to create a happy, healthier, and productive life. And how it is possible? With the help of mindfulness practice. As I said, the mindfulness practice is teaches us how to be non-reactive, how to be not only non-reactive, how we have to reply them by creating a space or gap, between two words, between two thoughts, between two actions. Just for example, if somebody is trying to bring a thought of anger, thought of jealousy, thought of hate at the workplace, I don't have to reply them immediately at all. I have to create a space or gap. Just for example, if somebody try to bring a thought of energy of anger, energy of stress, I don't have to reply them immediately. Rather, I have to create a space or gap of 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or few seconds. Why? Because when you reply them after some gap, everything keep on changing from time to time, moment to moment. So the person who is in anger, the person who is in a stress, if you create a gap, maybe, as I said, everything keep on changing. Maybe at the time being he was not aware, he was not mindful, therefore he bring a thought of energy of anger upon you. So in the next moment, after 3 minutes, after 1 minute, what will happen? It will change his mind. Maybe he will connect with some positive emotion, because he feel repent, he feel regret. So we need to create a space or gap. So what will happen? He will bring positive emotion, but when you react to them immediately, what will happen? There will be more anger, there will be more stress, there will be more negative emotion, and it will be conflict, it will be argument, and there is a waste of time, there is a waste of energy. Why? Because we are trying to react. So we have to be non-reactive, non-judgmental at the workplace. As I said, creating a space or gap is very important. When we go for meditation practice, there is a thoughtlessness awareness happen, as I discussed in the last part, because the thoughts are coming, the thoughts are going, we cannot stop the thought at all, so let them come, let them go. So we are a watcher, we are an observer, as I said, the thoughts are coming, the thoughts are going, and every day we go for more than 65,000 thoughts, and most of the thoughts are useless, unwanted, that has no value at all. So we have to witness of it, we have to observe it without labeling, without judgment. And after some times, what will happen? A thoughtlessness, a space happen, which will try to create a space or gap between two thoughts, in order to become slow down, pay attention, and watch out our thoughts. So when we do like this, what will happen? There is no argument, there is no discussion, we cannot react with other people. Because nowadays, what is happening, our lifestyle is so much busy and occupied with all kinds of the useless and unwanted thought, that we are trying to become more reactive, we are trying to react with any kind of the emotions whatsoever is happening. So when we react, more problem will come, more conflict will come, and we cannot be happy, we cannot be satisfied, into our activity of daily living or at workplace. There is another part of breathing meditation practice in order to transcend our negative emotion with the help of mindfulness practice at the workplace. Just for example, I write a book, I like writing a book, I cannot write the book continuously, why? Because when we write the book continuously, what is happening, it creating some kind of a stress, it is creating some kind of negative emotion within myself. So what I will do, I will try to create a gap or a space, maybe I will write few sentences of the book, early in the morning, and later on what I will do, I will try to relax, I will try to rejuvenate, I will take rest, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to close my eyes, so when I close my eye, there is no more outside distraction happen, so that, because when we open the eye, even I'm watching the computer, even I'm watching the wall, even I'm watching on some stuff. So what is happening, there is a dissipation of the energy is happening, because everything is energy. So what we have to do, we have to close our eyes. So as soon as we close our eyes, there is no more outside distraction, so what will happen, we are moving inside, so the more we move inside, what will happen, we try to discover who we really are, we try to feel more relaxed, we try to feel more rejuvenated. Why? Because the outside journey is closed and the inside journey is open, so when we go for the inside journey, what will happen, we are just try to get rid of all kinds of the useless and unwanted thought, because there is no dissipation of energy is happening outside. Moreover, we close our eyes. So the more we go inside, what will happen, we try to feel more relaxed, rejuvenate, and we can discover our hidden potential, and then it will improve the productivity. That is an important part of mindfulness practice. Another part, as I talked a few minutes before, the positive emotion wellness, at the workplace, which is very important. How can you create a positive thought, emotion, energy at the workplace when people are living with so many negative emotion? As I said, I can know about myself, I cannot know about others. But the more we move inside, the more we look within, the more we can discover our hidden potential. Then I can know myself, and in order to know others, when we know myself, then I can know other as well. So when we create a positive thought, emotion, wellness at the workplace, there is a chances of increasing the productivity. Why? Because people are more happy, people are more connecting with the positive emotion, and there is an oxytocin hormone which is secreted from our body, when we connect with the positive thought, emotion, wellness, because when we are happy, we feel much more rejuvenated, we feel much more relaxed, we feel much more recharged. So the more we happy, what will happen, it will improve the productivity, because most of the people are working with the healthy mind, with the prosperity of the mind, because we are going to work for thriving, we can thrive, we can prosper into our life. But when we connect with negative emotion like hate, jealousy, the anger, stress, or whatsoever, it will decrease the productivity. So why it is happening, from where it is happening, because we are connecting with so many useless and unwanted thoughts. As I said, every day we go for more than 65,000 thoughts, and the most of the thoughts are useless, and unwanted. So the question comes, how can we connect with the positive thought, positive, powerful, wonderful, and awesome thoughts? And that's what the mindfulness practice teaches us, like how we have to connect with ourselves, how we have to be grounded with ourselves. Mindfulness practice can improve the decision making and task performance at the workplace, because when we work in an individual or in a team, what is happening, decision making is very important, and the task performance is very important. But what is happening, people are living into the thought of the past or the future. People are not connecting with the positive thought, emotion, energy, because they don't know how to accept this beautiful present moment awareness. So the more we accept this beautiful present moment awareness, because this is the divine moment exists, so the more we connect with positive thought, emotion, wellness, with the help of mindfulness practice, in order to celebrate the present moment awareness, what will happen? We can be more mindful, we can be more aware, we can be more productive. But at the same time, when we are working at any place, and when you are lost into the thought of the past or the future by just thinking what has happened last night or what has happened few years back while working, what will happen? You will be bombarded with too many useless and unwanted thought, and it will affect the productivity. So what you have to do, bring your awareness to the breath. As I said, breath is life force energy. As soon as you try to bring your awareness to the breath, what will happen? You can be more mindful, you can be more aware, because you are not holding the thought of the past or the future. You are supposed to let go of all kinds of the thought of anxiety, worry, memory, and you are releasing those kind of the thoughts, and you are totally living into the present moment awareness, which can improve the productivity as well. Is there any question? Then I can move forward. Yeah, so let me talk something more about it, and then I would like to go for the practical aspects of meditation practice. That's what we do last time. The how can I love somebody else without loving myself? The more I love myself, the more I can discover who am I. As I said, people at the workplace are connecting with so many useless and unwanted thought in order to become busy of their mind, and it is affecting the productivity. So now, the more we create a fragrance of self-love, compassion, positivity, forgiveness, acceptance, what will happen? The more we can know who we really are, the more we are able to disconnect from all kinds of the negative emotion, thought, energy. As I said, that people at the workplace, what is happening at the people at the workplace? People are making sometimes argument, discussion, because they are connecting with so many negative thought, emotion, energy. So what we have to do, we have to create a fragrance of love, forgiveness, kindness, compassion, gratitude, appreciation, affirmation. Because the more we connect with ourselves and grounded with ourselves in order to know who we really are, what is happening? We are going to create a fragrance of self-love. As I said, how can I love others without loving myself? So the more I love myself, the more I can discover who am I. But people are saying that I love you. So you can love other only when you love yourself. The same way, the compassion, compassion is a very positive ingredient into our life. Most of the people are missing this kind of the fragrance. Why? Because people are thinking that we are living on the circumference, and the circumference is full of distraction, deviation. So why can't we move at the center of being? The center of being is full of love, forgiveness, kindness, compassion, gratitude. Therefore, the more we move inside, the more we look within with the help of mindfulness practice, what will happen? It will try to dissolve all kinds of the useless and unwanted thought. As I said, on the circumference, we are living with the mind, we are living with the ego. Ego always try to judge and label the things. Ego will always try to take you into the thought of the past or the future. Ego doesn't leave you at the center of being, because this, as I said, the center of being is full of light, love, compassion, gratitude, appreciation. So why can't we connect with the positive thought, emotion, energy when we live at the center of being? So the more we connect with ourselves at the center of being, what will happen? We are trying to transcend our ego. We are trying to transcend our mind. As I said, the ego try to label us, ego try to judge us, ego try to create a differences, separation into our life, because ego says I am a powerful, ego says I am a superior, ego says I can hurt somebody else, but how can you hurt somebody else when we see each and everything is connected at the level of oneness, because we are one at the level of oneness. The way we are connected with plant, animal, the way we are connected with whole existence or the universe. So we exist at the level of oneness, but the ego says that I want to judge it, I want to label it, I want to create differences into our life. So the more we try to transcend our negative emotion by reaching at the center, by reaching at the center of being, what will happen? We can dissolve all kinds of the useless and unwanted thought, and we can create a positive thought, emotion, energy with the help of mindfulness practice. Let me take water again. Is there any question? Then we can go for practical aspects of meditation practice. Hello?
I'm not hearing any questions.
Oh.
So I think you can proceed.
Yeah, so I'm going for the practical aspects of meditation practice with the audience. Okay, yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
So as I said last time, and I had given few instruction, like how to go for practical aspects of meditation practice, Before that, we need to understand the mind, what is a mind, what is a thought, as we go for the final level, the practical aspects of meditation practice, the mind is always try to put into the thought of the past or the future, mind is connected with so many thoughts, the breath, let us talk about the breath as well. Breath is a life force energy. The breath will connect with into the present moment awareness. So when we go for mindfulness practice, first of all, we have to close our eyes, because as I said, the practical aspects of meditation practice, that as soon as we close our eyes, what will happen? There is no more outside distractions, So the journey, the inside journey will begin. So when we go for the inside journey, what will happen? There is no more outside distraction at all. Another part, we have to bring the awareness of the breath at the top of the nostril while bringing, while breathing, while breathe out, So because at the top of the nostril is the object of meditation practice, where we can feel the sensation of awareness of the breath at the top of the nostril while breathing, while breathe out, So the more we are aware at the sensation of awareness of the breath, at the top of the nostril, it will help us to live into the present moment awareness. So when we go for final level of practical aspects of meditation practice, what we have to do, it doesn't matter how many times we are disconnected from the thought of awareness of the breath at the top of the nostril, but our final purpose is to bring our awareness to the breath. And the last process of practical aspects of meditation practice, that after the meditation practice, we feel relaxed, we feel rejuvenated, we feel very calm of our mind, we feel recharged ourselves. So these are the important ingredients of practical aspects of meditation practice. So let us go for meditation practice, and what we have to do in the beginning, as I said, let the thoughts are coming, let the thoughts are going, let them come, let them go. We are a watcher, we are an observer, we are witnesses. So when the thoughts are coming, when the thoughts are going, we have to close our eyes, or before it, we can close our eyes. So as soon as we close our eye, as soon as we close our eyes, our mind is getting very busy, but after 1 minute, after 2 minutes, or after a few seconds, you will notice that the thoughts are getting settling down. So let it be settled down. So as soon as it settled down, we have to bring the sensation of awareness of the breath at the top of the nostril. So I'm going to close my eyes, and let the thoughts are coming or going. We are a watcher, we are an observer. You know, don't give attention or energy to any kind of the thoughts. Whether it is positive thought, negative thought, good thought, bad thought. Just become there. Gradually, we can open our eyes, So this is the practical aspects of meditation practice. Is there any question, please? Yeah, I think we should, yeah.
I was going to ask you a question if you don't mind. I
Yeah.
know I'm spoiled. I get other chances to talk to you, but I appreciate your teaching on being a watcher, right?
Yeah.
And not taking on the energy that is handed to us, but watching those pieces. And then when you talk about connection and the importance of connection, for me, I see those two things as not as kind of going different ways. In one case, I'm taking a step back. In the other part, I'm celebrating taking that step forward into existence and all of nature. Can you talk about the relationship between being a watcher and being connected?
Yes. Being a watcher means, or being observer, just suppose if the traffic is going in front of my car, or by the side of the road, what we have to do, we are just observing it, without any labeling, without any judgment, even if there is a honk or the horn, so we have to bring our awareness, to the breath. So that is the observation. That is the observation, or that is the watcher, so it means we are just observer, we are a watcher, without labeling, without judgment, and connecting means just a step back within ourselves, and we have to reconnect us. And that's what the breathing meditation does, so when we are getting distracted from our any kind of the thoughts, so we are moving away, and we are not getting self connected. So when we bring our awareness to the breath, what will happen? It will try to help us to self connected ourselves. So that is the meaning of it. Is that okay?
Yes, that's very clarifying. Thank you so much, Sanjeev.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. So do you think like we can end, or like we can go further? What do you think, Ronin? Yeah. Because nobody is asking question, right? Yeah, today, like, yeah. Can you ask one more question? Yeah, please. I would be happy. Yeah.
Oh, sure. Well, I have lots of questions,
Yeah,
as
please,
you know.
please. Yeah. Then it will make more interactive. Yeah. So that exactly I want. Then when there is interaction, when there is a much more two-way communication, then it bring for every person. Yeah, go ahead.
One of the things that I hadn't heard you say so clearly as you did today was talking about the energy of negative emotion that other people try to hand to you, right? This idea of being in a workplace and someone bringing their negative emotion energy to you, and you having a choice to not receive it, to step back and focus on the energy that you want to create. Can you talk a little bit more about some strategies people might use in the moment to kind of keep that energy a little bit passed away?
Yes, this is the general problem are happening at the workplace. As I said, when we are working with the team, different people exist at the different level of energy and frequency. Some person might be more happy, more content, while other people are at the hate or jealousy. So when they are trying to bring the negative thought, emotion, energy upon me, even if I'm carrying the positive thought, emotions, what will happen? Sometimes we are getting pulled towards them, right? So at that time, the answer of your question, we have, even for the second, for few seconds, what we have to do? We have to focus on the breath. That is very important, because breath is a life force energy. So when we exist, when we came into this world, the breath comes first. So why can't we connect with the breath? So as soon as we connect with the breath, what will happen? It is not going to bring another thought, emotion, energy upon me. Why? Because I'm focused on the breath. And the second thing, practice create a space or gap between two thoughts, between two words, between two action. What does it mean? If somebody is trying to bring the thought of a stress, thought of anger, I don't have to react with them. Why? Even for the few seconds, even for the few minutes, I have to come and I have to bring my awareness to the breath. That is the first thing. The second thing, create a space or gap between two words, between two thoughts, between two actions. So when you create a space or gap, what will happen? For the time being, he was in the negative emotion. Maybe after some time, he will connect it with the positive emotion. One never knows. Why? Because it is a law of nature that everything keep on changing from time to time, moment to moment. So when you create a gap or a space, what is happening? He would connect with more positive thought emotion. But generally what is happening, people are reactive. They immediately reply, they immediately do reactive to any kind of the situation. At that time, there is a more argument happen, there is a more discussion happens, and it will affect the productivity. Is that okay? Yeah.
Oh, no, that's wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Lucky asked a question. She wonders, can we put our attention on the stomach instead of the nose tip?
Yes,
Because
there are two places.
awareness of stomach is more relaxing.
Yes, there are two places. The one place at the top of the nostril and the second place at the middle of abdomen, because there is a movement is happening. So even we can put our awareness to the abdomen, to the middle part of the stomach, that is same thing. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Is there any question, please? Yeah.
There aren't any other questions in the chat. Have we covered everyone's questions today?
May I ask a question, please?
Yeah.
Thank you for your training, because in some situations it's not that easy to focus on certain thoughts, and just it's much easier to describe the strategy rather to implement it. What would you recommend to those people who couldn't do that by themselves? Like where to start? For example, like if you get those negative thoughts immediately, if those thoughts come to your mind, and you can't focus on positive side of it, or you can't focus on certain place of your body, like what would be the initial point where to start moving from that negative point to a positive point?
I really appreciate your question, first of all, because this is the general problem happening in our society, that talking theoretical is very easy. She's right. Talking theoretical is very easy, but implementing practically is very difficult. So let me give you my example, then we can go further. It's a beautiful question. I welcome your question. Even long time ago, I had a similar kind of the problem, So, but it depends on us, how much persistence, how much perseverance, how much patience we have. I know, like when we live in the physical world, what has happened? There are so much challenges, obstacles, barrier into our life, and it's very difficult to implement it. But, it is very easy as well. Even similar kind of the situation has happened long time ago. Whatever I used to explore or discover into my life, when I used to think theoretically, which was easy, but gradually what is happening, I started implementing it practically. Just for example, suppose if I go to the Tim Horton or any coffee shop, and if I'm in the queue, so what is happening? People are busy with their own lifestyle or own kind of the things like that. So sometimes I get anger, sometimes I get frustrated, sometimes I get stressed out. Why? Because I'm in the queue. So yes, you are right. We are a witnesser, we are a watcher, So later on I observed, that why did I got anger? Why did I got frustrated? Why did I got stressed out when I was in the queue? Later on, I realized, what I waste my time, I waste my energy, by just connecting with so many useless and unwanted thought of anger, stress, because we have to, I always recommend, we have to celebrate this present moment awareness, no matter how painful it is, because everything keep on changing from time to time, moment to moment. There is nothing fixed, Just for example, when we were kid, we were young, we are going to die. This is a natural law of process. So there is no point if I keep on thinking that I should have been young whole my life. It is impossible. So let us come to your question. The question is like how we have to implement it practically, and the second question, like how we have to connect with positive thought emotions in spite of having negative thought emotions which is coming into our life. This is a very important question. I always request the people, like we are a watcher, we are an observer, so no matter whether it is positive thought, negative thought, good thought, bad thought, this thought or that thought is coming, we are a watcher, we are an observer. Let them come, let them go. Don't react with it at all. Never react with it. Let them come, let them go. So we are a watcher. Just for example, when we are, as I said in the last conversation, just we are standing at the side of the road, suppose, and the car is coming, the traffic is coming, there is a honk and horn. But what we have to do at that point of time, we have, even if there is a honk, horn, or there are so many noises on the traffic on the road, we don't have to get distracted or deviated. Let us bring our awareness to the breath at the top of the nostril, or while at the middle of stomach. Why? Because when we bring our awareness to the breath at the middle of the stomach, what will happen? It will help us to live into the present moment awareness. So your next question, where we can start, how can we start, that is another part of the question. So as I said, we can do meditation practice early in the morning, by bringing our awareness of the breath at the top of the nostril or while at the middle of the abdomen. That is the first part. The second part, or the advanced level of mindfulness practice, when I open my discourses, there is a basic level, there is a middle level, and there is an advanced level of mindfulness courses, in which I educate the people. It doesn't matter wherever you are, even I am working at the workplace, even I am driving my car, even I am walking, sitting, we can make our life as a meditation practice. So what will happen when we go for meditation practice in activity of daily living, then it will change from inside, and then we can go from there as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Is it good? Yeah.
Terrific. There's a couple of other questions. Someone asks about focusing on the center of the forehead instead of the nostril or the abdomen.
Yeah. So, okay, if you focus on the center of the forehead, that is also good, but why do I recommend the center of the abdomen or the top of the nostril? Because when we close our eyes, and the thoughts are coming and going, you can feel there is some sensation is going at the top of the nostril, and you can feel that at the middle of the abdomen or at the middle of the stomach, there is some upward and the downward movement is happening, so that is the object of meditation practice. However, even if you can notice and witness something is happening at the top of the head, that is also good. So that is also good for.
Someone else asked also, saying that you talked about creating gap or space between two thoughts. How exactly do you do that? Literally just close your eyes, or how do you suggest that be done?
Okay. That is, let us come to your question, the way you asked me the question. Remember, how to create a space or gap, if somebody is trying to bring the thought of a stress, thought of anger, right? The first way, we can close our eyes, but we cannot do at the working place, because when we work, we cannot do like that, practically. So what we have to do at that point of time, just remember one word or one sentence, like bring into our own space, bring ourselves into our own space, because every person is unique, right? So why should I get pulled towards somebody else, so this kind of the investigation, this kind of the contemplation within ourselves, that step back and come into my own space. That's all. We have to remember this word, that's all. When we come into our own space, what will happen? We are not getting pulled towards with their thought, with their words, with their action. And this is the way.
Someone else is saying that their mind often wanders. and they can't stay focused during meditation. How can they improve their concentration during meditation?
Most common question, I think.
The most
I have
common
the same
question,
question.
that's what I get always from my workshop. People always ask. So I welcome this question. We need to understand that the property of the mind. Mind is chattering and wandering thoughts. Mind will try to take you into the thought of the past or the future. Mind is the obstacles on the path of meditation practice. Mind is connected with so many useless and unwanted thoughts of confusion, doubt, living into the thought of the past or the future. When we go for meditation practice, the mind always take you into the thought of the past or the future. So as I says, we have to witness it. We have to become watcher. We are an observer. When we close our eyes during the meditation practice, the thoughts are coming, the thoughts are going. So let them come, let them go, because the mind will try to take you into the thought of the past or the future. But remember, our practice is to bring the awareness of the breath. So as soon as we bring the awareness of the breath, what will happen? The mind is getting dissolved, it is getting deconditioned, the mind is getting no mind state. And no mind state is called the pure present state, where we can live into the present moment awareness. And that's what it is. Yeah.
There's also a question around how to not react, how to stop being impulsive. How do we kind of avoid those behaviors that we'd rather not engage in? So being reactive or being impulsive.
Meditation always change from inside. It is not outside journey, first of all. So in order to become repulsive, not reactive, we have to transcend our negative emotion, first of all, like hate, jealousy, anger, fear. As I said, in the positive emotion wellness, there is a negative emotion, there is a positive emotion with each and every human being, right? But how do we look at the things? So if we connect with more negative emotion, we will try to react them immediately, and the situation can be worse. So the more we connect with the positive thought, emotion, energy with the help of mindfulness practice, like the loving, forgiveness, kindness, compassion, gratitude, what will happen? How can I hurt somebody else? I cannot hurt somebody else. The same way, reaction is just try to hurt somebody else in order to hurt myself, So when we think at the level of oneness, like we are deeply connected at the level of soul, energy, spirit, However, we live at the physical form in the form of body, mind, which is okay. So when we look at the level of oneness with appreciation, with gratefulness, how can I react to somebody else? I cannot react, So we need to cultivate the thought of forgiveness, the thought of compassion, the thought of love, the thought of gratefulness. So as soon as we connect with these positive emotions, then we can create a space or gap, and we cannot be reactive, we cannot be judgmental, and we can be more happy. Yeah.
And one last question before we close today.
Yeah.
Is it really viable to be so forgiving and overlooking in this competitive era?
Yes. Life is challenges, obstacles, we have to live in the physical world. However, there are so many challenges, not only challenges, even we are working, we are living in the family, every time we are facing so many challenges. It is a competitive world, you are right. But still we have to live in the physical world, right? Just for example, when you look at the lotus flower, when it grows under the mud, so it never touched the mud, However, when it blooms like anything else, Still, what I'm trying to say, that the more we live into the physical world where there is lots of competitive challenges, obstacles, still this is the real examination of meditation practice. Let the challenges to come, let the obstacles to come, but I have to celebrate, my beautiful present moment into this into this moment, So the more we live into the present moment awareness, it doesn't matter how many challenges and obstacles. However, the challenges are there, however, the obstacles are there, but bring our awareness to the breath. As soon as we bring to awareness of the breath, there is no challenges, there is no obstacles. Those challenges and obstacles becoming opportunities, becoming possibilities, and we can celebrate this present moment awareness.
What a great way to end our session today,
Yeah.
Sanjeev. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
I'd like to thank all of the folks that joined us today for this session. We have recorded it and we will be putting it on our website, tieshealthyminds.ca. So please check back there for the recording of today's session, but also Sanjeev's earlier presentation and the 5-part video series he created for us, especially at TIES. So I hope you'll have an opportunity to see that. Thank you so much for all the great teachings that you gave us today and the opportunity to practice mindfulness together. Even though we're apart, we can feel that sense of connection through your teaching. So thank you so very much.
Thanks.
Thank you
Ronnie.
very much. Thanks a
Thanks,
lot.
Ronnie.
Thanks, Ronnie,
Thanks,
for
Sanjeev.
organizing this.
Thank you.
My
Okay,
pleasure.
Yeah, nice meeting you.
Hope to see you all soon.
Yeah, okay. See ya.
And have a nice weekend, everyone.
Yeah, you too. Yeah,
Thank you. Bye.
bye. So how was Ronnie? Yeah.
That was lovely. It was
Yeah, last moment I enjoyed very much, that was, you were asking so many questions,
Well,
really
do you
I
know-
enjoyed. Yeah, that
Yeah,
exactly I wanted, in presentation I was not happy, but when you connected with so many questions, then I got recharged. Yeah.
Well, you can thank your participants for that because
Yeah,
they were
yeah,
writing
that's
all
what-
of those questions in the chats. So
Yeah.
so I
So I'm-
didn't, yeah, they were wonderfully engaged. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for all the participant, and like they ask me question and they give me opportunity, and I'm very happy for it, where I feel grateful myself, like they ask me some question and I reply them, and so that my life can be useful for their life, so so that's what. Yeah.
And again, if anyone reaches out to me, I'll put them in touch with you so that you can continue to engage with them if they have any additional questions, if that's all right.
Okay, thanks. Yeah.